Hi, my name is Rae Eriksson. I've lived on Gozo for approximately 7 years now. I consider myself a lyrical writer, so today I'd like to read some of my poems to you that eventually I'd like to hear some music behind. So that's an invite to any musician out there that likes what they might hear today. So I'm going to start with a song that actually is being worked on by my youngest son. It's called Vampire, and hopefully maybe you'll hear it to music soon, and it goes like this. I was lost. I had no place to go. My heart was empty and then went cold. In my veins, ice water flowed in the shadow of his greed. So many others have come and gone. My heart cried tears of what went wrong. There he saw a desperate need in the shadows of his greed. He pierced my every sense with a burning touch, begging with a heart that screamed, please more. Then he fed upon my being, soon leaving me seeing this soulless creature fly out the door. In the shadows of the night, guard yourself well, for they're all among us, but you'll never tell. Till in the moment of a desperate need, upon your soul they'll feed. Upon your soul the vampires will feed. Gotta watch out for those vampires. The next one, I was sitting down in Schlinde one afternoon, and I saw this old man sitting on a stool. And I call this the Schlinde Sea, even though we all know it's the Mediterranean. And it goes like this. I saw an old man sitting on a stool down by the Schlinde Sea. With a weathered face of years gone by, I said, have you a moment to speak to me? He looked at me and said, talk a while? What have I got to say? I'm just an old fisherman who sits on a stool, passing what's left of life away. I said, everyone has a story. I know you have one too. Tell me a little about your life, what you used to do. The old man looked up at me, spread his hands wide before his face. You see all this? It's changed so much. I don't recognize this place. There was nothing here but a house or two. A carefree life is what I had, standing on this very place, fishing with my dad. Those were the very best of times in life I've had. Those were the very best of times in this life I've had. Slowly over time, the restaurants and hotels came. I know that time brings progress, but nothing's remained the same. Now I'm old and not so wise, but of one thing I am sure. Close your eyes for just a moment, then your life becomes a blur. Enjoy the sunshine we have today. Take it with you when you go, for tomorrow you may wake up in a life you do not know. And at 71, I can honestly tell you that that's a very true statement. So take advantage of what you're doing now. And this last one was inspired, I'm sure a lot of you know Joey as a party. And this was inspired by Joey. And a lot of people believe it means one thing, but it's a kind of a private joke between us and our alien friends up there. The cornfield is dying. The locusts sing out his name. The sun rises up in the west. The jackals anticipate fame. There's no longer water to quench a burning thirst. It looks as though we're doomed to die, but will you and your soul be first? Oh, get behind me, devil. Do not call my name. I've lived my whole life in your hell. There's no redemption in your game. You cannot have a soul that isn't mine to give. In dying, it's the knowledge that finally we live. The horsemen are riding. There's thunder in each step. The father tried to hide his children as their mother wept. The laughter roared out across the barren land. It's all coming into focus, centuries of a plan. Oh, get behind me, devil. Do not call my name. I've lived my whole life in your hell. There's no redemption in your game. You cannot have a soul that isn't mine to give. In dying, it's the knowledge that finally we live. As written through the ages in all the sacred text, nothing is defined as ours, no different than the next. There's only one divinity that has a master plan. We are as the dust on the earth and one single grain of sand. Oh, get behind me, devil. You've no domain over me. My life is not this planet, but within the galaxy, where all your madness, all your lies will simply cease to be. I am not a moment in time, but I am all eternity.
I am Rosita, a contemporary artist. From a very young age, I had a very strong contact with nature. Going to the fields with my dad, swimming, fishing. So from these beautiful moments, I used to find myself many times also alone, observing and collecting. Whereas I used then later put all together in my art. It used to change a lot. At times I was painting, at times I was doing a collage, sometimes also 2D paintings. Depend on what I want to say, what I want to create, and the textures and the medium that I use. It's a reflection of what I see, what I experience, and what I want to pass. In my art, I like to use a lot mixed media. Also, I like to use different materials from my outdoor experiences, like driftwood, glass, sea glass, minerals, and stones. Looking back in time, I look also at my art, how it evolved. There are times that I'm strongly influenced by nature. Other times I'm influenced by music. The lyrics of a song that I get influenced by, see the picture and translate the lyrics in color. Sometimes it evolves. I see how it turns. I cannot really control that, but it's really the place I put myself into. So sometimes I'm inspired by books, what I read, and again I'll create the story, translate the story with color. Texture gives me also a wider, a deeper way, an easier way how to express myself. There are times where I feel so inspired, it's a never-ending flow. However, there were times where I stopped for around 4 years. Then I experienced the loss of my parents, and that made me go again within, asking questions to myself and trying to find more meanings in life. It is there where I went deep into art again and started creating in a different way, rather than what my eyes can see. It's more what I feel. What I feel, memories from the past, present experiences, and desires for the future. In fact, some of the paintings, when I paint, I feel, rather than painting and looking at the outcome, it feels more me that I'm writing a story. Not concerned so much about the outcome. Living on a small island, I see it more of a positive. Even nowadays, I have time to wander around, still have that strong contact with nature, and I don't think it's a limitation at all. I would rather say that the island gives me chance to express myself and to to be in nature, to be in water. I love swimming a lot. It gives me, it cleans my energy, it cleans my mind, and I get a lot of inspirations when I spend time alone, free diving and being in water. Just before COVID, I had my last exhibition. So COVID came in a time when I needed to rest, have a break, slow down, get my breath again, get my strength, and enjoy nature again. COVID brought also changes. In a way, they are also positive, because as when I painted Gaia speaking, nature has had a break also. It did slow down, and to create, I think it's very important to be calm and relaxed. So hopefully now I'm painting again and creating and enjoying what I do. However, the negative side of COVID is the lack of connection with friends, the lack of connection with the closer ones. But time changes, and hopefully this time will pass as well.